Fitness challenge class. Woo-hoo. Yeah, woohoo, exactly. So I'm very happy to introduce Sarah Mitchell. She is here from Lee Memorial Health System. She's a certified wellness coach, and she's going to be talking to us today about lifestyle changes. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping things first, if you don't mind. First of all, there's a sign-in sheet, so please make sure if you haven't already to sign it. Secondly, as Terry said, if you could please make sure your cell phones are on vibrate, because we are going to be recording it for those of you who are not going to be able to be here. If you need to get up and use the restroom or anything, it's over there. Need to take any calls or do anything, you can wander out there. The door is unlocked. Also, we have for you, as your prize for coming to the class tonight, some water bottles. Okay, so I would definitely encourage you after the class to grab a water bottle. They are yours to use while you're doing your exercising and walking and all that kind of stuff. So we're very happy that you're here. Okay, so without any further ado, Sarah, take it away.
All right. Good to see you guys, and thank you for giving me your time. So I have a question for you. Are you in the driver's seat? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, part of this presentation too is class participation. Okay, I love some time at the end for some questions too, but if you have something that comes up that you see that strikes you that you need to talk about, it might help the person next to you to go ahead and bring up a discussion on it right then. Okay, so that's part of the slides when I show them. So the first thing is, are you in the driver's seat? We are 10 days into your challenge. So that's what I'm talking about by are you in the driver's seat. But does your driver's seat look like this one? It could. It has for me, I know. And some days it still does look like that. Yes? All right, so we're going to see what we can do to find a different driver's seat for you. So just so you know where we're going with this, the agenda, you have their introductions, get to know you exercise, definitions, 3-month goals, SMART goals, planning, and then questions at the end. So this is our get to know you exercise. I want you to think about yourself and this journey that you've started in 90 days. 90 days is pretty far out. But I wanted to know from you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how confident are you that you have the tools to empower you to make some lifestyle changes in this 90 days? You can think about that number in your head and hold on to that number. You don't have to say it out loud, but I really want you to think about it for just a moment. Are you empowered with the tools to make some behavioral changes in these 90 days? So I am a certified wellness coach, and I do lifestyle coaching. So it's a kind of a new philosophy that's out there right now. So some of you are probably thinking, what is life coaching? Life coaching is just someone to hold you accountable, to guide you, and empower you along the way on your journeys. And it doesn't have to be just about physical fitness. It's about total well-being. There's so many different facets to total well-being. It can happen in your job, your everyday life. It can happen in your social life, your personal life, your workouts, how you eat, everything. It encompasses so many different things, your well-being, your health, number one. So it's also a designed alliance between a coach and a client. In this setting, though, we have lots of clients, one coach. But you can learn a lot from these different slides. So the first thing that you need to do is examine some of the challenges that are going to be faced to you these next 90 days. Actually 80 now. And to do that, you need to know what's going on right now. What are you physically capable of? What are your hours in the day that you can devote to this? Your minutes in the day that you can devote to this? So you need to set those standards when you start to think about some goals that we're going to go through later on. What's going on right now is one of the most important things. Challenges or obstacles? Anybody have them? Anybody have them? Yes. Yeah, we all do, right? Obstacles and challenges are going to try to get in the way of your healthy behaviors. And so it's not about making them go away. It's about how you're going to get around them. How are you going to get around those challenges and obstacles? You've planned a nice workout today, but you have to go pick up your child somewhere. Or you have to help your mother, your aging mother, or your aging parent. We all have different challenges no matter what they are. Some of us have children, some of us have the parents. Some of us have a spouse that needs some help. It's just, what is holding you to keep you from doing what you need to do to get healthier? Course of action. That's very important because we can all sit here and say we're going to work out tomorrow, right? But it doesn't really have much action to it. It's not specific. So you need to figure out what your course of action is that you're going to take and be specific in it. All right, ladies. Who is this?
No idea.
Anybody a baseball fan? He plays on the Rays. Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria. I picked him for two reasons. Number one, he's my son's favorite, and that's who I had to pick. But number two, he has a shin guard on his shin because he kept getting hit on the shin at the ball every time he went up to bat. So he found a way around his obstacle by getting that shin guard. And now he goes up to bat and he goes ahead and plays. But I also picked it for another reason. I want you to look at those red arrows. Are you the bat or the ball? And if you'll play with me for just a moment, because I know the bat doesn't really have a brain, but and the ball. But some days you may feel like you're the bat. You're empowered. You know you're going to swing. You may choose not to swing. You may choose to hit the ball in a different place it somewhere. And if you're the ball, you don't know if you're going to be hit. You don't know if you're going to be caught. You don't know if you're going to fly in the air, on the ground. Ever have days like that? When you're the ball? So it's much better to be what? Bat. Empowered. Strong self-acceptance. Big part of making some behavioral changes. You need to discover your true self. Forget the past. Here's a quick question for you. Anybody in here ever try a fad diet? Looking at those magazines when you're at the checkout, they all seem like they can work. I mean, I've seen one that says, sip this smoothie and lose 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. Doesn't tell you what's in the smoothie. Doesn't tell you what else you have to do. But we tend to buy that magazine. And we tend to try it, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm talking about to forget the past is the things that didn't work for you. Forget about them. Because we've all tried them. And if they didn't work the first time, they may not work this time. But they also may discourage you from even trying. So it's good just to start this challenge with a clean slate. Be aware of your feelings. Know yourself through this challenge, the different things that you're going to face, the barriers. Just know your own feelings. Face them. Accepting the person you are right here today. Meet yourself right here today instead of 90 days from today. That's important too if you have some type of restriction from some type of workout. It's important to know that and get around that and accept that you have that challenge and find a way to get around that challenge by maybe asking somebody, getting some help along the way. List your accomplishments. Let's say you have a workout. Let's just use physical activity for a moment, okay? Let's just say that you have a workout that you're going to do. And you go to the gym or you don't go to the gym. Let's just use outside as an example, because some of you don't have a gym membership, and that's okay. You can work hard on your own. And you set out to do a 3-mile walk, okay? And you set yourself up for, I'm going to do a 3-mile walk. And you only got 2 miles in. Instead of coming home and feeling discouraged that you didn't get that other mile in for whatever reason it was, maybe you ran out of time, maybe physically you couldn't do it. It's good to see that you did 2 miles. So if you'll jot down that I did 2 miles and not think about that you didn't do the 3. It's very important to list the accomplishments that you're making, because each little step that you take through this is so important. In fact, that's where you grow the most, is in the small steps. And if we don't list our accomplishments, we tend to forget them and dwell on that 1 mile that we didn't make. And I'm only using a mile as an example, but that's what we tend to dwell on. That's why it's so important through this to list your accomplishments somewhere. You don't have to actually write them down. Maybe tell somebody. Think about your future. How is this going to affect your health? Maybe you're on a medication that you want to come off of. Maybe you don't want to have to go on a medication. I don't know, maybe you can fit into an outfit that you've been trying to fit into. Maybe you can go on a trip that you wanted to go on, but you couldn't hike through that trip. So if you think about the future, it really does motivate you to that next step. Any questions on any of this strong self-acceptance? Or anything to add? Put into action these points, and I can assure you, you're on your road to victory. Would you agree with that?
It is.
That's good stuff. One step at a time. We should just study that for a minute. Anybody been on that bottom step before? Yeah? Okay, here's a quick question for you. 10 days into your challenge, anybody still on that bottom step? No? Okay, good, good. Let's look at the next step though. I can't do it. He's kind of looking up now, thinking about it, right? Anybody on that second step? Third step, I want to do it. He's standing up, I'm really going to try this. But then on that fourth step, how do I do it? Anybody on that fourth step? Yes? It's okay to be on steps, because we're all going to be on different steps. But you got to that fourth step and you don't know how to do it. But look where you came from. So it's important to look down. You've climbed 4 steps to get there. You didn't want to do it. You said you can't do it. You want to do it, and now you're going to try to find out, how am I going to do it? So when you break it down like that, doesn't that 4th step seem huge? Okay, good. And you're on 10 days. Anybody on the next step, I'll try to do it. How about I can do it? Anybody there yet? I will do it, and then yes, I did it.
I did that yesterday. Yes, I did it.
You know what? Good.
There's like 8 steps, because I live in a 3rd floor condo, and we have an elevator. So now since I started, I walk up and walk down. So when I come in the morning and I have heels on, I have to take my heels off and walk down barefoot.
That's getting around an obstacle though, right?
Yesterday I walked up and I always look up and I says, oh my God, 2 more steps to go. But yesterday I said, oh my God, I'm going to make it. And when I got to the top, I was so happy because I finally did all of them at one time rather than having to stop and breathe.
That's awesome.
I went up. I'm really proud of myself. Now I have to.
I'm proud of you, and I thank you for sharing that, because that staircase is every day.
Yes.
It's not the 90-day
Every
challenge.
day.
It's every day. So thank you, Cynthia.
So I
for
figured
sharing
if I don't walk because of the rain, then I've got my exercise going up and down the stairs.
Right. And those are the minutes that count, right? It's not, 30 minutes is great, an hour is great to exercise, but how about those little minutes that you can fit in anywhere you can? Park a little bit further. I know we've all heard these things, but it's good to be reminded of it. Park a little bit further when you're at the grocery store.
Yes.
You know, I work at the gym, And you wouldn't believe the amount of people I see circling the gym looking for a parking place. It's almost hysterical. It's not just because of the rain either. They're looking for a closer spot. So park away, walk a little bit further, take the stairs when you can, and if you can't make it up the whole time, you can take a flight and then take the elevator if you had to. It really makes a difference. Those little steps, each time that you take one, you get to list your accomplishment, and it's huge. It's a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. What happens though if you fall back down to that bottom step?
You get up and keep going.
You keep going, you get back up, right? You get back up and you find a different way to go around it. Good. All right, any questions? Anybody want a picture of this staircase? Lots of stuff that you guys are used to there, right? Stethoscope, scale, treadmill, and labels. Anybody got any idea what we're going to talk about? 90 days. This is something that you need to work on right here. How do you see yourself 90 days from now? It's called a vision. It's really hard to see a vision sometimes when you're in this journey, but I'm going to ask you to take a moment to yourself and think, how do you see yourself in 90 days? And it can be any vision. It can be off of that medication that we talked about. It can be now I can walk that mile that I couldn't walk before. It can be now I am eating healthier. How do you see yourself? Because this is a foundation and the platform from everything that we're going to talk about from here on out. So it's very important that you start to think about that to yourself. Vision your health, your weight, your physical activity, and your healthy nutrition. Those are just 3 examples that I gave you, 4 examples, but there are so many different things that it could be. This will guide you in setting the goals that we're going to set tonight. I see the panic. I put you on the spot, didn't I? 3-month behavioral goal. Has anyone in here ever set goals? Yes? It can be a business goal. It doesn't have to be a health and fitness goal. Yes? Yeah, I think we all have at one time or another set some type of goal. Anybody ever called it a 3-month goal? No. Typically, a behavioral change takes 90 days, 3 months. That's why a lot of these challenges are 90 days. Typically, it takes those 90 days for this habit to become just that, a habit. One that you don't have to constantly think about, one that you don't have to reflect on, write down, a good, solid habit. In 3 months, you can start, learn, and maintain a new set of behaviors. Do you believe that? You can, but are you willing to? Do you want to? Are you there? Are you ready? Set goals that support a desired outcome. That's why I asked you before on the last slide about seeing yourself 90 days from now. That's why it's so important. What is that desired outcome? Here's just an example of one. I will do 2 20-minute strength training sessions per week at the gym. Okay, does that make sense to anyone? Does it sound like I could do that? That's my goal. Does it sound like I could do that? Since I work there, you'd think I could, right?
No?
I used to teach body pump, and body pump is a barbell class. I taught it for 12 years, and recently I'm not teaching any longer. I'm following a different passion of the lifestyle coaching and also the yoga and Pilates. I was putting too much on myself, so I decided I'm not going to teach my body pump anymore. So guess what happened to my weight training? I wasn't doing it. So I had to tell myself, I had to go back and set a goal. And I didn't want to make it too big because 20 minutes is a lot, 2 times a week, to put into something that I'm already teaching. I don't want to tell you how many classes. I teach a lot of classes a week. And I also see a lot of people a lot a week. I do a lot of these sessions. So to put in 2 20-minute strength training sessions, I thought was doable, okay? And still get the benefits that I need. But does anyone know what my desired outcome was? Any guesses of what my desired outcome was for that?
Reach your goal.
To reach my goal, that would help. But my desired outcome, what I'm looking for, what was my vision?
To maintain your body strength.
To maintain my body strength is very good. Yeah, that's part of it.
Health.
Health. What does strength training do for you? What are one of the major benefits of strength training?
Osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis. Didn't used to mean a whole lot to me until I started aging, right? I mean, it doesn't. We all think that that's the look that you want, but sometimes it's that health that really gets you in that gym 2 times 20-minute strength training sessions. Because I can do push-ups and I can do my yoga and I can do my Pilates, but I'm not getting that benefit from actually picking those weights up and doing that strength training sessions. Okay? Is anybody in here not doing strength training? You can say that you're not. It's okay. It's okay to say that you're not. Yeah? Okay. Any desire to want to start some strength training?
Yes.
Okay. What's the major holdback of you not starting one?
I told you not to.
They told you not to? Okay. You have something restricting you from doing it?
I think I did.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? No time? Time is a big factor, I know, because we're telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, right? That's why I set it up for something very small, 2 20-minute sessions. And you get a good benefit from that. And if anybody needs any help with that, let me know.
Would you do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night?
You sure could. You sure could. And you can do that with your cardio also. You can break it up. Okay? Most things that I read strive for 30 minutes every day. Everybody has a different saying. Some people will tell you more, some people will tell you less, but 30 minutes most days is what I tend to really stress. But you don't have to do the 30 minutes all at once. You can do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and 10 minutes throughout the day. And it really does make a difference. You start sneaking it in little by little. Not for more, but you do. You start sneaking it in where you can. And pretty soon it becomes fun. I mean, you can take your child to practice and walk the field instead of sitting. Before you know, you've got a group walking with you. I heard some people talking about walking from work tomorrow. That's awesome. That's excellent. I mean, you can sneak it in wherever you can. It doesn't have to be straight time. So it was a very good question. Thank you. Any other questions? You sure? Before I flip the slide? All right. 3-month goal. Let's make a 3-month goal. Take one and pass. There. Pass in the middle. I have a few pens. I didn't bring too many, so we can share. You can use that.
Thank you.
So if you can share with someone around you. There are 3 spots on that paper. There are 3 spots on the paper, but you don't have to make 3-month goals today. If you can come up with one, that's awesome. And actually, even with the goals, think about what we talked about. Where do you see yourself in 90 days? How do you want to picture your health? It can be about anything. And remember, though, this is a big goal. This is 90 days to do it, okay? So it's a big goal. It's not just, this is not where you're going to say, I'm going to do two 20-minute sessions of strength training, just so you know. You just have one to work from, that's perfect. Doesn't mean it has to be what you're trying to do. Anybody have any questions while you're making those that I can help you with? Does everybody have at least one goal written down?
Yes.
One goal written down. Okay, we're gonna stop there and you can finish in just a moment, but let's keep things rolling. Just one goal. Look at that top goal because that must be your priority one that you really wanna work on. Okay? One goal. You want to prioritize the goal areas by importance. What matters most to you? Fitness, weight loss, health, nutrition, stress management, life balance, or satisfaction. Those are just some examples. Okay. With that 3-month goal, that's a foundation, a platform for everything that you're going to be doing these next 3 months. Okay? That's what you're really striving to. That's your desired outcome. So all these little steps that we're taking along the way, remember the staircase? All the little steps that you're climbing and you're going through, they all matter. The 10 minutes that you can fit in wherever you can fit in, the walk at work wherever you can fit in, the staircase instead of the elevator. All of these things matter and they make a difference to get to that desired outcome. Now that you have that written down on paper, it kind of holds you accountable to yourself, right? You've already written it down, it's almost real. When you see something in writing, it makes it more real than when it's just in your head. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes? Here's the good thing about that though. It may not stay the same. Through this journey, you may decide that something else matters more. That second goal may matter more. And then we're going to start to work on that one a little bit more than the first one. And that's okay. That happens a lot because through this time, a lot of changes are going to occur for you. Does all that make sense? Okay, good. So hang on to those for just a moment. Any questions about the 3-month goal? You guys are good. Either that or you're sleeping. Goals are dreams with deadlines. Set smart goals. They have to be reasonable. So I'm going to pass out another handout for you. So you're getting your extra 10 minutes in right now. Are you guys passing out the same one? Because I see different ones going down that one. Oh. Did everybody get a sheet that says SMART on it?
No, we got weekly.
Okay. You can have the weekly one. That's the next one that's coming, but you didn't get one of these?
No.
I apologize.
Specific, measurable.
You can hang on to the weekly ones. They're coming in just a little bit. Okay, set reasonable SMART goals. First thing you want to think about when you're setting a SMART goal is to be specific. This is one of the things I was saying about don't just say you're going to lose weight. You want to be more specific than that, okay? So when we're starting to think about small goals now that you can obtain in 1 week, 1 week. It's very important to be specific because we only have 1 week to get them done, 7 days, okay, to accomplish them. So you need to be specific. I'll give you an example of a specific goal. I'm gonna work out for 10 minutes. I'm going to do the treadmill for 10 minutes. I'm gonna do it on Monday. Pretty specific, right? The only thing I didn't say is where I'm gonna do it, but I don't have to. I might have a treadmill at home, you don't know that. But you wanna be as specific as you can. You don't wanna just say, I'm gonna work out for 10 minutes. What do you think happens when you're not specific? Doesn't get done. Somebody else might have said that too, because it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. It just falls off. It's not important. It's not on your calendar. It's not important. So you gotta be specific, measurable. Was I measurable in my goal? 10 minutes. How about action-based? Actually gonna go ahead and do it. Yeah, you gotta put action-based behind it. Can you do it? Do you have 10 minutes to do it this week? That's another thing to think about. You can't just set a goal thinking, I'm gonna do that. That's why I like to use the word 10 minutes, because actually, when you start enjoying it so much, your 10 minutes, you'll start putting in 20, and then you'll start putting in 30 because you're gonna see all the rewards that you're getting. But it's easier to start out at 10. So just have some action behind it. Realistic. I'm gonna go run 4 miles tonight. I don't run. I walk. I can walk all day, but I'm not a runner. So that's not realistic at all, really. You want to keep it in your range, in timeline. You've got to remember, you've only got 7 days to do this. Okay? So I'm going to put you on the spot again because I'm going to give you a goal to do this week. I'm not going to give it to you. You're going to set it for yourself. You can set 1 or 2. There's 2 spaces on here, and some of you already got this. I apologize. I was out of order. I said, if you don't need one, don't take one. This is the house. I don't know how that's happening. You know what? I think when she made me extra copies, I did. So, I don't know how that got like that. There were 3 over there, right? I apologize. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I might just have to find them if you need more. Here they are. If you need more. All right, so does everyone have those? She's got them behind you. The next piece of paper that I passed out to you has a place, it has multiple ones so that you can continue to do this. And I'd like you to feel free to email me. I'll give you my email. You can email me your goals if you want to, and I'll help you with them. That's just something I'm going to do for you. But if you don't want to email me and you want to keep it private to yourself, do yourself a favor and tell somebody, whether it's the person sitting next to you, whether it's someone at home, because then you're going to feel like they're going to hold you accountable to it. And if you don't want anyone else to know your business and you want to email me, email me. But make sure you tell somebody those goals, otherwise they're going to sit there on paper. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So do you want us to email you every week?
You can. You can, if that's going to help you. It's not a requirement. It's not even a requirement to email me, but I'm offering that if you'd like it. Let's go ahead and write at least one goal. Try to give 2. And if you need any help, that's what I'm here for tonight. So if you have questions about what is doable, ask me. You want to be specific. You want to make sure it's measurable. Most important, put some action behind it. Realistic and timeline. Everybody have at least one goal written down? All right.
Got a question.
Oh, sure.
I think I heard somewhere that it's better to use goals and
positive terms. So instead of saying, I'm not going to drink Coke this week, to say, I'm going to drink water this week. Is that right?
Well, that's a true statement, because when you set your mind back into that whole habit of a goal, then that's what you're gonna think about. When you look at your goal, you're gonna think about something that you're deprived of, instead of something that you're doing to better. So, it's a very good point. Anything else? No? All right. Are you ready to move on? Success doesn't happen overnight. Keep your eye on the prize and don't look back. I agree with half of that. I agree that success doesn't happen overnight. Maybe a little bit more than half of that. I say keep your eye on the prize. But it is important to look back, not at your failures, but at where you've come from. Just like that staircase, it's so important because each little tiny step that you don't even realize you're making is progress. And it's heading you right up the right way. So part of that I don't agree with. You may agree with it. You may think you shouldn't look back. Don't look back on your failures. These are 3 powerful words, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes, you can. You believe that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that you can make those goals that you just wrote down? Okay, good. Oops. Yeah. How'd that get in there? Anybody come home from work, grab anything like that, or at work when you don't forget to bring something healthy? Anybody ever want to grab something like that because it's quick, it's easy? Especially the pizza. I mean, you don't have to do dishes. You just go by and grab a $5 pizza and you're done. Right? It's easy. Why do you think that happens, though? What do you think the number one reason is that happens, that you grab that?
Not being doing anything.
Not planning.
Planning.
And what's the number one reason that we're not planning?
Too busy.
Time, too busy. We don't take the time.
Not having goals.
Not having goals. All of those things add up to this. How would you feel if you ate that during this challenge?
Bad.
Bad. It would lead you to be discouraged, wouldn't it? So it's so important that you start planning ahead. Anybody think about planning ahead their grocery shopping and then planning ahead their meals? Are we to that, doing that? Okay, good. I'll have to tell you what this is because nobody ever knows, but that's hummus in the middle, celery, carrots, apples, and some nuts at the bottom. Does that look like it's healthy?
Yes.
It's a good choice, right? But you have to plan ahead because sometimes we don't have the apples at home, or the carrots, or the celery, or the hummus, or the nuts. And that's when you tend to reach to the other stuff. So that's the big thing there, is to plan ahead. Some of the behavioral changes. You may need guidance, empathy, motivation, and making a change. So if you don't have somebody in your within this room that you have that can guide you, give you empathy, motivate you when you feel like not doing something, find someone. Okay? It's really going to help you through some of this. Someone to hold you accountable. I've offered to do that with the goals. But if you don't want to share them with me, that's fine. Find someone to hold you accountable to what you've written down. And to guide you through those roadblocks, those barriers, those challenges. Now I have another question for you. How comfortable are you now, after this session, that you're empowered with a little bit more tools to make some of these behavioral changes? On a scale of 1 to 10, did your number change? Anybody their number didn't change? So with these goals, you can make this happen, one step at a time. You can barely see that, but it says driver's seat. This is the car that I hope I put you in. Right? But here's another question for you. Are you at the red light? The green light? Are you being very cautious? Let's go.
Green light, here I come.
That's right. I hope you all feel like you're on the green light. That's where we need to be right now. So we've talked through this presentation too, but does anyone have any questions? And if you don't want to say it in a group setting, I'm going to be here for a little bit afterwards too, and I'll answer any questions that you have. I have my cards up here. If you want my email? Email is just the easiest way to get me. I'm never really at a desk too much unless I'm with somebody. So email, I always email right back. So, anybody have any questions? All right. Nothing? Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.